this Thursday. We're going to be doing one Thursday night, right? We're doing a podcast right at the end of round one. So we'll be able to react to that. That's fun. We'll come back with you. We'll have our best picks up throughout. There's so much to do. You could do conference over under, how many guys will be drafted from each conference, from each position. When will a tight end be taken? Willis, Pickett, all these guys, Corral, are they first rounders? Anyway, anything you want, you can go on there, FanDuel.com/against-the-odds. Now, as far as the draft, now what I do is I put together my own mock drafts. I don't trust these others. I'm on Cousin Sal version 1.15. This is the 15th version of my mock draft. I take this very seriously. The first 14 I didn't release. I've just done these at home. The 15th one I will release, and then I'll probably do another 5 or 6 at home that I keep to myself, and then I'll release 1.21 on Thursday. So it's hard to keep track of, but they do have popular draft combos. That's what we're going over today. Willis, first quarterback. Williams, Jameson Williams, first receiver. You get plus 350 for that. I still think Willis is the first quarterback. I think he goes to the Lions. Maybe not right there in that 2. Maybe they trade around. They find a different spot for him in the order. That's up.
Yeah.
You can get that at 10-1 if you want him to go to the Lions. But either way, I still think he's the first guy taken. If you read that Peter King mock, boy, that was crazy. He didn't have a quarterback coming off the board until I think like the 5th round or something nuts. But either way, I think the Lions go through trades. They figure a way to land them. I know you're going to say, hey, Cousin Sal, in version 1.09, you had Pickett going first. Yeah, well, I have 15 mock drafts. This is the one. Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is a bad. I know he was banged up. He has an injury. Maybe you don't want to take a chance on him, but he's from Alabama. Seems to do well for teams. I could see the Jets taking him, Parlay Kid, and everyone freaking the hell out. But anyway, the Williams-Willis first parlay here, popular draft combo on FanDuel pays plus 350. What are you going with? You gave us one the other day.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with it, Sal. Combo it's come down a little bit. I think it was plus 350 last week, but I'll stick with it at plus 250. Willis, first quarterback. Ikwanu, first offensive lineman taken. And Breece Hall, first running back taken at plus 250. I just based on most of the mock drafts I look at, which is a lot of them, this combination seems to fit the bill. And I'm with you on Willis. I think anybody would be crazy to really take any of these quarterbacks in the first round. And if you were going to take one of them, Willis should be the guy you're taking.
You're going under. So for the longest time, it was the 2.5 was the over under for how many quarterbacks. They made it 3.5 now, but the under's minus 250. How many do you think go? Gun to your head, 3?
I'll say 3. I really think it should be 1 or less in this draft. I think these teams are crazy. I wouldn't draft a quarterback this year. I just wouldn't, but it's probably going to be 3. So I'll take the under.
Well, so there's 5 or 6 teams that will probably draft a quarterback. And I'm not saying in the first round, but over, not the first 2-3 rounds, right? Not 6th round. I think Detroit, New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, Seattle. I think I said on Extra Points.
Yeah.
I think only 3 bite in the first round. I think Detroit, Atlanta.
Right. I think that's about right.
And New Orleans. Harry, what do you say for 3.5 over or under?
Oh, I'm going to go under 2. I agree with Parlay Kid. Shouldn't be this many, but teams are just in need. I just don't think the quarterbacks that are out there are good enough to be first round draft choices, but sometimes quarterback teams just have to pick one.
Yeah, they do. All right. So what's going to be your big thing here?
Mine is at plus 300. Carolina drafts a quarterback at 6, and the Falcons draft a wide receiver at 8. Now, look, Carolina, 30th in passing last year, 14 total touchdowns amongst 3 different quarterbacks, 21 picks, 13 of them from Sam Darnold, 59% completion percentage from Sam Darnold, and the other 2 quarterbacks were not over 60 either. So
why you just tweet that you still hate Sam Darnold?
I don't hate him. I just think he's terrible. And if you look at the Carolina roster right now, the Carolina roster only has Sam Darnold and 5'11" PJ Walker on their roster. That's their only quarterbacks right now. So they definitely are in need of something quarterback, and taking someone at 6, and then at 8 with Atlanta. Look, Ridley suspended. Russell Gage, their best wide receiver last year, stats-wise, is gone. Kyle Pitts had 68 receptions and over 1,000 yards, but only had 1 touchdown here. New quarterback coming in. Maybe it's Mariota, probably going to be the starting quarterback. in free agency, all they picked up was Auden Tate from Cincinnati, who had 3 receptions for 39 yards for the Bengals last year. I think Atlanta has to go with a wide receiver at 8.
All right. I'm going exactly opposite. I think Carolina passes on the quarterback. I think Atlanta takes the quarterback. You can say what you want about Sam Darnold. It might be a 3-way tie for second best quarterback in that division. So I don't know that far behind Carolina is. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. Brother Bry, what are you going with?
Well, it's comparable to what you had, Sal. It's Willis, the first QB taken, and then I have Garrett Wilson, the first wide receiver taken at plus. I think it's plus 210 now. Like Parlay Kid has said before, if you're going to take a quarterback, especially in the first round, I think if you're looking for upside, I think you have to take Willis. I don't think any of these other quarterbacks are worthy of a first round selection. And then when I'm looking at, I see what you're saying with Jameson Williams, but it's hard for me to believe that the first receiver that's going to be taken was just a guy who had ACL surgery 3 months ago. And
Yeah.
I know they say he's going up he's shooting up the boards again, and a lot of teams like him as their first. It's just hard for me to believe that. Plus, I don't know, maybe Alabama receivers you want to stay away from between Ruggs and Ridley.
Yeah.
Right now. But to me, Wilson, finished off the season great last year, had phenomenal games against Michigan State, and Purdue. To me, he seems like he'd be the best fit for multiple teams. So I would look that way. And when Harry was giving out, it's funny, the Falcons taking a wide receiver at 8. I know a lot of people do have them taking a wide receiver at 8, but I don't know. When you don't have a quarterback, and you have so many other needs, like wide receiver should be the last thing. Who cares? I don't even care if you don't even have another wide receiver. Like you need to fill some other holes before you start.
It does seem like there's going to be a run on wide receivers. You just got to figure out when it's going to be, right? They're just our dumb fantasy drafts. Like, oh shit, can I wait? Or are there going to be 5 wide receivers taking the next 7 picks?
Yeah, but Bri, I hear you. But like a guy like Kenny Pickett, like who might go in the first round, don't know. But for years he average stats at Pitt, and then all of a sudden he busts loose with 45 touchdowns against last year, and then now all of a sudden people have him all over the place. But maybe he might not be a pro quarterback. He might not be good at all.
I'm not saying that they have to draft a quarterback there either. It's just like if you don't have a quarterback, I feel like you shouldn't reach for a receiver.
You're wasting a couple of years.
When you're wasting. Wait until you have other.
How
pieces
about Jameson Williams was? I forgot he transferred from Ohio State.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you could get 3 in a row there from former or current Ohio State guys. Yeah, Olave and Wilson. All right, so we'll be hitting the draft props all week long. By the way, I did mention I sent you guys separately. Trayvon Walker now minus 200. I mean, it just changed. Wow. It was minus 175 to be the number 1 overall pick. Aiden Hutchinson plus 250. And so now does that mean like Detroit's got to take their guy now? Detroit's got to take the Michigan guy, homegrown guy. I don't know. Maybe that screws with the Malik Willis where I think he's going to go. But Trayvon Walker minus 200.
Oh, and Walker was back in like January, right? He was like a late round pick, right? Before the combine and everything else. He was a late first round pick.
Yeah.
So stupid. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, It was Thibodeau for the longest time, who Peter King now has like 13th or something. Well, this just caught my eye. Like, is it worth it to put money on like Malik Willis to go first at 50-1? Because
like you trade,
people freak out. Yeah, people in the next couple of days, but it's like, wow, this is not a surprise. But like, I don't know. I just think just to have a quarterback go 1 is probably worth it at some point at 50-1. But anyway, there you go.